Okay, so if you're an editor, the whole conversation around AI probably feels like a lot of noise. Is it going to take your job? Is it just going to make everything more complicated? We're going to cut through all that hype and give you a completely new way to think about this. Forget AI as a threat. Instead, think of it as a specialized editing team that you get to manage. This right here, this is the big question on everyone's mind, isn't it? This idea of some single, all-powerful AI that's just, coming for your job. And I get it, it's a common fear, but honestly, it's based on a total misunderstanding of what these tools really are. The reality is actually way more interesting and a lot more useful for you. So let's just reframe this. Stop thinking of AI as one giant tool. Start thinking of it as your own on-demand editing team. And each person on this team has a very specific skill. You're the project manager. You decide exactly who to bring in for any given task. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet your new assistants. First, we'll break down the roles for the mechanic, the ideator, and the analyzer. And then we'll wrap it all up by talking strategy, how you, the editor, choose the right persona for the job. All right, let's meet the team. First, you've got the mechanic. This is your workhorse, the one who handles all that foundational grunt work. Then there's the ideator, your creative partner for when you really need some new possibilities. And finally, the analyzer, your strategic thinker for those high-level structural insights. The real secret here is knowing when to call on each one. Okay, first up, the mechanic. I want you to think of this as your go-to assistant for just whipping a document into perfect technical shape. The mechanic is your production powerhouse. Its entire job is to handle those repetitive, rules-based tasks that just eat up so much of your time. You're basically asking it to tighten all the nuts and bolts of the document. We're not worried about creativity here. This is all about speed, precision, and flawless execution. So when do you call in the mechanic? Think about all that time you spend enforcing style guides, right? Like Chicago or AP. Or cleaning up really messy raw drafts from a writer. Or, and this is a classic, wrangling citations into the right format. The mechanic automates all of that, which frees you up to focus on the important stuff, the story, the argument, and the structure. Now this is a perfect example of how to direct the mechanic. A great prompt is just like giving crystal clear instructions to a junior editor. You're not just saying, hey, edit this. No way. You're being specific. You're telling it to follow the Chicago Manual of Style, and you're flagging a specific house rule. Always use numerals. See? That level of command is what turns a generic tool into your own precision workhorse. Okay, so once all the mechanical work is done, you might need a creative spark. And that is exactly when you call in your second team member, the ideator. Here, we're shifting gears from correction to pure creation. The ideator is your creative partner. It's basically an idea engine. You bring this persona in when you or maybe your author are just stuck in a rut and you need to break out. The goal here isn't precision, like with the mechanic. Nope. The goal is volume and variety. You want it to spit out a ton of different possibilities just to get the creative juices flowing. If you're a fiction editor, this could be amazing for brainstorming plot twists or new character motivations. And for nonfiction and business editors, it's a gold mine. You can generate dozens of alternative headlines, draft different versions of a call to action for a marketing piece, or find a fresh angle for that boring quarterly memo. You know that feeling, right? Every business editor knows it, staring at a blank page, trying to come up with the perfect email subject line. Well, with the Ideator, that's over. You give it the topic and tell it what feeling you're going for. Here, it's flexibility and collaboration, and boom, in seconds, you've got 10 different starting points to work with and refine. And finally, let's talk about the most strategic member of your team, the analyzer. This is the persona you call on when you need to get beyond the words and sentences and really evaluate the entire architecture of a piece of writing. I love this analogy. Think of the analyzer as your pocket developmental editor. Its whole purpose is to help you see the forest, not just the trees. This persona is all about being systematic and strategic. It's perfect for looking at the big picture stuff, like structure, logical flow, and whether the whole thing actually holds together. So you use the analyzer for the really heavy-duty developmental work. You can ask it to summarize a whole chapter and point out any gaps, or evaluate the pacing of a story. You can even have it list the strengths and weaknesses of an argument. For corporate editors, this is huge. You can ask it to check if a document's tone aligns with the brand voice. It can even generate a list of questions a reader might still have, which is an incredible way to find holes in the content. This is where AI helps you provide immense strategic value. Look at this prompt. It's not about finding typos. It's about strategy. It's about analyzing a press release for a very specific, very important audience with a high-stakes goal. By setting up the role and the objective like this, you're using the AI to get top-tier strategic feedback on tone and structure. This helps you advise your client at the absolute highest level. So now that we've met the whole team, let's bring it all together. Let's talk about how to choose the right assistant for the job, because this is where your expertise as an editor really shines.
Okay, so here's the simple breakdown. For rules-based tasks, you need the mechanic to get things clean and compliant. When you're in a creative rut, you call the Ideator to explore new ideas. And for a deep structural review, you bring in the analyzer for strategic insights. Knowing which one to call is the whole game.
Ultimately, the power isn't in the AI itself. It's in your ability to direct it. When you start thinking strategically about your actual editorial goals for a project, you can tailor your prompts and transform a generic chatbot into a powerhouse team of specialized assistants that work for you. It's all about choosing the right mindset for the job. All right, so here's your next step, your challenge for this week. I don't want you to just try AI. I want you to pick one editing task you're facing. Just one. And before you do anything, consciously ask yourself, is this a job for my mechanic, my ideator, or my analyzer? Then frame your prompt specifically for that persona, and just see what happens. The future of editing isn't about being replaced. It's about being the one who leads the team.